What is the purpose of Qigong as it pertains to Kung Fu?
No matter how many uses it may have towards healing or combat or strengthening or health, it's this process really is our high goal, to become one with ourselves and everything else.
Why did you choose to learn Kung Fu in China?
The whole idea of living in a secluded area out in mountains, training martial arts, was very appealing. So I ended up picking Kunyushan, Kunyu Mountain Chinese Martial Arts Academy.
Did your previous training in martial arts prepare you well for training Kung Fu in China?
Physical condition-wise, I think I was unprepared for it, and the flexibility too. We did stretching, but not the same degree as, needing all your splits and being able to kick over your head all the time.
Can you tell me more about your transition in China from being a student of Kung Fu to being a disciple and then eventually to becoming an instructor?
Upon becoming Master Guo's disciple, like I said, there was that difference that now is kind of family in a way to him, and to him, he then took on another kind of responsibility to me, not just as a student that he wanted to teach me his system and get me proficient in it, but also that he wanted me to become a master, and he wanted me to start practicing things that are difficult feats and things that other people normally can't do. And so my training ended up changing. At the evenings I had mandatory training, and for my first month as a disciple I actually had to train every night hard qigong for getting up to the feat of breaking marble, which is something that most students can't do, because breaking normally the standard piece of marble, the one that's about maybe 5 centimeters across and 5 centimeters thick, is about the equivalent of 3 bricks, and that's a feat that most students can't do with their hand behind their back. So it was getting up to that feat first, and then once I got it, then it was like the next feat, and once I got it, it was the next one. So it changed so that my training started taking on this incrementing route of achieving things that I couldn't do, and starting from a base where other people already couldn't. They ended up starting to fast route me into then taking on the position of being a teaching assistant for Master Guo, which would eventually lead into working as a staff member there. Because being able to do things that other people can't do, being able to fight at a level that other people can't, well, this starts to sound something that you want out of an instructor. And so they believed that at that point I was ready.
You tell me that you came to China to learn Kung Fu and you already had previous martial arts experience, and yet it was still challenging learning. What would it have been like if you'd come to a place to learn Kung Fu intensively and you had minimal or no experience at all?
Yeah, I mean, I've had students who come with no experience, and I have students who are older and come with no experience as well, which also plays a role in the ability to take in new information. But, you know, I always found it surprising because how quickly some people learn, even when they have no experience. Because one of the things that I love about Kung Fu is that it's natural. You revert to the way the body moves naturally as you practice martial arts.
Traditional martial arts trains in forms and basics as fundamentals. However, this can be seen to be lacking in applicability for combat and fighting. Can you tell me more about your understanding of forms and its relevance today?
Like Master Guo always says that he gives us a box, and that box has the basics and the simple techniques and how to do them and a set of applications for them. Now, once we have those boxes, all those little building blocks, it's up to us to only stack them in the way he showed us, or we can find our other ways to stack them. And I found a lot as an instructor too that people have a tendency not to do that, especially with the idea of traditional martial arts. They feel like they should only do what they're told, and that's how they're going to improve. But I make a point every applications class that I have with my students to give them 5 minutes at the end of the class, or 10 minutes if I can. Or I tell them, all right, so we've learned these applications today. Now what I want you to do is take it and add something else at the end. And they're like, add what? That's up to you. Add something that makes you feel like you're doing a finishing move from Mortal Kombat or something that makes you feel cool, or that it would actually finish the fight. Because sometimes an application is just like block, block, punch. But I mean, you watch any fighting sport, and of course, people can take a lot of punches a lot of times. That's not necessarily something like, aha, I punched him in the face, I win. Right? There's a lot of techniques that are available in martial arts that really are dangerous and fight enders. So that whole idea of being creative, of thinking outside the box, and doing that in your free time with your friends. You have a martial arts community at your disposal while you're learning. Use it. Learn from different people, different styles, and integrate it all. And more than anything, take advantage of all the opportunities that come.
My understanding of a martial art is that it's the spiritual side, the meditation, that makes it a art as opposed to straight out combat. Can you tell me more about the spiritual side and the meditation and the internal arts such as Tai Chi and Qigong that you teach?
When we go into Tai Chi, it's an internal fist, which, as Master Guo would say, I've had some people ask, is Tai Chi, like meditation? And Master Guo, my Shifu, gets a little upset at this. He says, no, Tai Chi is a fist. It's a martial art. However, it is very closely tied with Qigong and meditation and energy work. Qigong in Chinese literally comes from Qi and Gong, which means air or breath and work. So it's just breathing exercises at a very basic level. So from there, as we go into deeper and deeper context into it, so you have all the things that then become very Chinese: meridian theory, meridian points, the cultivation of these points and the opening of these meridians, and then the ability to manifest and gain a conscious control of our breathing, and then our chi, our energy, our life force. Core principles of Qigong. So Xiaoxin talks about will as sort of something prior to the mind. Usually you hear people talk about meditation and they talk about mind, spirit, body. But Xiaoxin speaking about will is something a little bit more raw, something like an intent, a purpose. And so this is one of the primary things that we cultivate in the practice of Qigong, our will. The next one, Tiao Shen, is speaking about the body, but not solely to cultivate the body's health and physique, but also understanding how the positioning in the body, how it affects the regulation of our qi, how it affects the positions of our meridians, and how it affects having a longer term goal of the direction and purpose of those movements towards reaching a higher state in our qigong. And then the third one, Qia Qi, speaking about the cultivation of qi. And here we can think about qi basically as breathing, and about the cultivation of our ability to breathe, and what that can turn into, how it can manifest itself, and how our breathing then can be employed into different parts of our body in different types of ways. So all three of these principles need to be together in anything that's called Qigong. It needs to be something that cultivates your will, cultivates your body, and cultivates your qi.
So why is it that you enjoy teaching Kung Fu?
I still feel like I'm growing and progressing, but now also doing this new skill set that I found that I also really love. I really love teaching, and I really love seeing my students grow, the pride that I feel when I see my students getting gold medals in competitions, or placing in the top 3 in the gradings, or clearly winning the sparring round. It has been such a pleasure and an honor to be able to be in that position and bring the joy of martial arts that I have to other people as well. With the blessing of my master is to go and start to truly be a master, to start and try and imply my philosophies to training and pass on my style, my generations of training that I inherited through my master onto others. And being my own school and my own training structure, I can once again go back to participating in training with my students all day, and which I think also serves as an inspiration to students to be leading from the front and not from the back. And all in all, I think now I've gone further into this path of teaching now, where my form of being a master now, I get to shape and mold it in the image of my master and with my own twists.
So where does this passion that you have for Kung Fu take you now? What is the next step of the journey?
Costa Rica is the next step.
What is the vision that you have for Kung Fu, your school, and life?
So I like this idea of having a flexible schedule where everybody can get what they want out of martial arts, and also with having that more free time in the day. For example, say you train only Tai Chi and Qigong and you're only training in the mornings, so you have the whole afternoon and evening off. You can spend it connecting into nature. You can spend it hiking, going down to a river, walking around, meeting locals, learning the language, taking a nap in a hammock. All these kind of things to me are just the way we kind of want to live life.
So as the maker of this film and Ariel student, of course I'm going to be biased when I say this, but what I wanted to say, and the reason why I'm making this video, is because I wanted to get across the fact that it's one thing to learn from the best master around, but it doesn't mean much if he isn't capable of teaching you in a way that you can learn. Now, the biggest barrier I found to learning in more traditional and older places like the original Shaolin Temple or Wudan Mountain is the fact that a lot of the masters don't speak English, and the level of translation it's adequate, but you miss some of the finer and subtler points of martial arts. Now, Ariel himself trained in China for years, And that's why I wanted to train with him, because he learnt Chinese so that he could learn these subtleties from his master. And he's willing to teach and share these with you in his classes, and that's why I'm training with him.